Metroid and Zelda, some of Nintendo's most recognizable brand names, and what I'd like to call the NES Big 3 along with Mario. To milk the hype train from the release of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, I will now share to you a secret. The secret where Link and Samus exist in the same universe, and why Link himself may just be as famous as Samus throughout the galaxy. This makes sense for Samus since we already know Samus is the #1 bounty hunter in space. But Link? What does Link have anything to do with it? Well, there are multiple appearances of Link and Samus outside of their respective franchise, as can be seen in this top 10 video. I'll link it at the description down below. Now this could just be some mad reaching from me. What if all these franchises in the top 10 video are on their own planet, and then Link and Samus have either visited them, or have their legend spread to their planet? This may explain why there are so many worlds out there that like to cosplay as those two famous figures, even though you'd never expect them to appear in the One Piece world, Bayonetta world, Warriors world, or even the Tekken world. You may call that using those references are cheap, and it was just other games making Easter eggs or cool cameos for their games, but I say it's fair game. Considering how Metroid isn't even a big seller itself, why would they use it as a marketing tool? Surely it can't be that. No, not at all. Instead, they are both famous within the galaxy in the far off future that it managed to reach all corners of the universe. We already know Samus is the #1 bounty hunter as mentioned before, so it's no surprise she is known throughout the lands, but Link making appearances as well? Why, it can only be explained that in the future, the one with the spirit of the hero are famous too. But the video I provided only shows people cosplaying. How do we know that Link is a spacefarer as well? Link has appeared in the Mushroom Kingdom before. In Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, you can find the hero clad in green somewhere in the Mushroom Kingdom, along with Samus preparing her battle for Mother Brain. And then in another world, the Final Fantasy world, we can find a tombstone where Link lies. With that, it should be more than enough to convince you that Zelda and Metroid are in the same universe, perhaps even the galaxy. But if you're still not convinced yet, how about this next one? I present to you the Goron theory. The Goron theory is where the Zelda Gorons could be the ancestors of a certain bounty hunter from the Metroid universe. This hunter is Spire from Metroid Prime Hunters. Spire is a bounty hunter who seeks the ultimate power in order to find out what happened to his people, the Diamonds. Based on the appearance of Spire, it is fair to say the Diamonds themselves is some kind of mineral life form, having a rocky body and a big giant orange crystal. This kind of appearance makes the Diamonds to be a silicon-based life form, as confirmed on the Metroid Prime Hunters logbook. The Gorons are speculated to be silicon-based as well, because life as we know it are all carbon-based life form, making them have a more organic appearance. Silicon-based life form, however, do not exist and are purely sci-fi speculation, as of this moment. But if they do exist, using silicon as the building blocks may give life the appearance more towards a rock or a diamond, similar to this single-celled organism called diatoms. They are carbon-based life forms, but they have incorporated silicon into their cell wall, giving them a crystal-like protection. This essentially makes them a living crystal. Cool animal facts aside, the Diamonds and Gorons also share another similarity. What makes these two species so similar to each other are their alternate forms, with the Gorons and the Goron Ball form, whereas Diamonds have their Dilanche form. Both of them roll up into a ball, but Goron Ball form are significantly less imposing compared to the Dilanche form, which have spikes protruding. But we know Gorons with magic power are able to form spikes as well. Just look at Goron Link's Goron Ball. When he puts on the Darmania mask in The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, Link can consume mana to create intimidating spikes as well. So if Gorons and Diamonds are one of the same species, why do they have different names? Much like in Zelda Wind Waker, the Zoros have evolved into the Ritos, or the Hyruleans evolving into the Hylians. This could very likely be true for the Gorons to the Diamonds as well. To top it all off with the Goron theory, Spire's homeworld is called Mondrius, which based on the opening cinematic of Metroid Prime Hunters, Mondrius appears to be a barren wasteland with active volcanoes. Zelda's homeworld is mostly lush green land, from what we can see in most Zelda games, except for the fact that Death Mountain looks like it's ever increasing in size with each new Zelda game, and it features death in its name. Almost sounds like an ominous foreboding warning of what cataclysm this mountain may cause in the future. So what if Mondrius is actually the name of Zelda and Link's planet? If you think about it, we never got the name of the planet. We only know of the giant landmass known as Hyrule, which we do not know is it a country or a continent. Mondrius could very likely be the future of what Hyrule will become. Death Mountain swallowed everything whole, and is now devoid of most life, and that is the Goron theory. But all of that explains Gorons, but it doesn't link back to Link. What happened to the Hylians? Why, I believe they too appear in the Metroid universe, one way or another, but for that, we need to look into the Metroid manga. One of Samus' friends in the manga is a gorilla from the simian race, but I'm more interested in the other one, Kreets and his people, otherwise known as Kreets' race. They are an elf-like species that sports pointy ears similar to the Hylians. Unlike the simians though, Kreets' race was never given an official name despite how much of a significant role the species play supposedly in the manga. They are called Elfins by fans, but that's not the official name for the race. Kreets' race were the ones held responsible by the Galactic Federation for what they call the Species Wars. While we do not know the exact details of the event, we do know that this is the cause of Kreets' race being racially profiled, and for such a thing to occur, something big must have happened. What if the war is a conquest of galactic dominance between the humans and the elf-like species, but the elves lost? Knowing how much of a dominant force the Hylians are in Hyrule, it wouldn't be too surprising that once the Hylians became a species that was able to travel into outer space, they battled for galactic dominance, but lost to the humans. So Kreets' unnamed race was intentionally left out in the manga, because these guys are the descendants of the Hylians. Maybe? Who knows? We will never know, and as far as I'm concerned, the Simians and Kreets' race are non-canon. But hey, that's some food for thought. Now let's look back into references. Metroid does make a Zelda reference. In Metroid Prime 3, Hyrule's symbol will appear on the bumper of the gunship, confirming Samus does know the Kingdom of Hyrule. At the other side of things though, no Metroid reference has been made in any Zelda games, but it's perfectly explainable. Zelda games are held in the past, Metroid are held in the far off future. The timeline simply does not match for Zelda to make any reference to Metroid at all. But this is all just speculation and nothing more, as we've never seen or heard Link in space before. And that shouldn't be the case if Link is supposed to be famous throughout the galaxy. If we've never heard of Link in space, how about a game where Link is in space? As far as we can see in the latest Zelda timeline, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are still stuck in what looks to be the past. Well, at least not futuristic enough like Metroid. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past at one point was going to take place in the future, so we could have had a good indication of where Link's notoriety is within the galaxy, but that never came into fruition. But just when all hopes appear to be lost, Zelda Breath of the Wild comes to the rescue. From Zelda Breath of the Wild concept arts, we see what the hero clad in green tunic looks like in outer space. But what's more interesting is that we see a Metroid in the same artwork, a small confirmation by the developers that Link does indeed exist in the same galaxy as Samus. So with all of that, I would like to conclude that Link and Samus do exist in the same galaxy, and this will open up a lot of possibility. Would you ever like to see a crossover game featuring both Link and Samus together? Or perhaps something more akin to what Crash and Spyro did years ago, with Crash Bandicoot Purple, Ripto's Rampage, and Spyro Orange, The Cortex Conspiracy, where both games were released, similar to Pokemon Red and Blue. Well, that's it for the theory. I'm going to milk more Zelda Tears of the Kingdom hype train, so expect more Zelda Cross Metroid videos soon. Bye for now.